plaintiff, Stephen Lambert, says he and the defendant were good friends, and he was always the life of the party. But the defendant's drinking spun out of control, and he started drinking 3 liters of vodka a day. Stephen is suing for rent and car rental fees. Defendant Nick Dawson admits that his drinking was out of control, but says he moved back to his hometown and in with the plaintiff to get his life together. Nick is countersuing for an illegal eviction.
All right, start with you.
Your Honor, if ever you wanted to go out to a party or go have some fun, Nick would be the guy to take with you. He would always be the life of the party. He would be the one dancing when no one else would dance. He'd keg stand when no one else would keg stand. He was a drinker and he was a partier. And that's how I got to know Nick about 10 years ago.
He got drunk and acted out of control?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to hang out with anybody. I wouldn't mind hanging out with a guy who likes to have fun, but not a drunk who likes to get out of control.
Well,
what you doing hanging out with him? Do you do the same thing?
I used to, a little bit here and there, yeah.
When did you get religion? When did you stop?
I stopped when I
grew up. You're still doing it. That's why you can't tell me when you stop.
Your Honor, if ever you wanted to go out to a party or go have some fun, Nick would be the guy to take with you. He would be the one dancing when no one else would dance. He was a drinker and he was a partier.
He got drunk and acted out of control?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to hang out with him.
Defendant Nick Dawson is being sued by his former roommate, who claims after Nick moved in with him, he was suffering from alcohol withdrawal so severely that he blacked out and crashed his car into someone's home.
Go ahead. He's a fun-loving guy. And what else?
He moved to Florida shortly after our partying streak, and that's when his drinking got a lot heavier. According to Nick, it would be 3 liters of vodka a day.
Wow, he's an alcoholic. If he did that.
And he recognized that he was an alcoholic and wanted to mend his ways, and he moved out of Florida back home to where his family is, and he needed a place to stay, and that's where I came in.
Before we get to the rent and the other issues, let me allow him to give some background, sir.
Well, I've known Steve, as you said, for a long time. Steve's a great guy. People tend to gravitate towards him, especially the ladies. Been married twice, but he's still got a few lined up at all times, chasing after him. He's a good guy though overall. We worked together, great employer. We had a lot of fun, working together. I learned a lot. I attribute a lot of what I know today to Steve.
Good.
He's a great guy, and
a lot of people don't give folks credit like that. So
he's definitely a gentleman and a scholar.
And a drunk, or used to be drunk. Ex-drunk.
I think I play that part for both of us.
Okay, go ahead.
But he's just all around a great guy. And
what was his behavior like when you all would hang out?
He's just, like I said, people gravitate towards him. We always have a good time. You never know what's going to happen. We'd go out, it kind of like the movie The Hangover, if you will. You never know. You never know what's going to happen at the end of the night, or what. We're looking back.
Did you move and have a problem with alcohol once you moved?
I did. When I went to Florida, I did start to drink more heavily. I was South Florida, like near Miami area.
Yeah, it's a party area.
It is. It's a very hedonist area. So, but it's I kind of got out of control, and that's one reason I wanted to move back home. Kind of slow down with the drinking.
Did you get it under control?
I have, yes, sir. I've done much better with it.
Much better. Now you're only doing 2 liters.
I don't drink liquor any longer.
So good. Yes, all right. Tell me about the rent. You say he moved in with you?
He moved in with me.
What was the agreement?
The agreement was for $450 a month, which is the same as what my existing roommate had. Nick didn't have any furniture or anything with him. He just had his luggage. So he stayed on the couch. He was looking for a job.
How much was the rent for the entire place?
The mortgage was for $1,100.
And you were paying to lay on the couch. You must have been drunk that day if you agreed to that. What is a house?
It's my house. I own it. Yes.
How many square feet?
1,700.
That was including the utilities and whatnot as well, you know, the cable and whatnot. So
Sound like you still think it's all right. All right.
it was a little much.
Go
but, you know.
ahead. All right.
So with regards to the rent, he did pay the first 3 payments, but he did not pay the last 2 before
What
moving
months
out.
did he fail to pay?
December of 2010 and January of 2011.
All right. Tell me about the car rental fees. Why are you suing him for that?
In late November, November 22nd, he had asked to borrow my car to go to a restaurant just down the street. He hadn't drank the night before or the morning of, so I had no problems with him borrowing it.
That's the time you shouldn't have loaned it to him. You should have suspected, all right, if he leaves here, he's going to drink. But he wasn't a drunk anymore, right?
He was still drinking at that time.
All right.
Yes.
Coming out of his drunken ways.
Yes.
He was transforming, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead.
When Nick wasn't drinking, he would go through withdrawal symptoms. He would be sleeping a lot. He would speak about pains in his stomach. In fact, prior to borrowing the car, he himself had gone to the hospital because he said his liver was hurting.
Yeah.
And the doctors told him that you're an alcoholic, and if you keep this up much longer at all, you're going to die. He moved to Florida shortly after our partying streak, and that's when his drinking got a lot heavier. According to Nick, it would be 3 liters of vodka a day.
Wow, he's an alcoholic. If he did that.
Defendant Nick Dawson is being sued by his former roommate, who claims after Nick moved in with him, he was suffering from alcohol withdrawal so severely that he blacked out and crashed his car into someone's home.
Let me hear from you regarding these withdrawal symptoms.
You shake, you know, you feel very unhealthy, you feel very weak. You just don't feel good overall. Get sick, obviously.
You smoke pot?
No, I mean, I used to, but no, it's
Did
not.
you ever, when you stopped, did you go through that?
No, sir, nothing
Right.
like
And the
that.
reason I'm making this observation, because alcohol is legal. There's a big fight about marijuana, medical marijuana in particular being legal for people who need it or feel that addresses their pain better than the pharmaceuticals. So some states allow that for that use, and people are all up in arms, but they should be just as much up in arms about alcohol, because you heard what happens when you're alcoholic, and it's the same thing. If you smoke weed every night, you become a weed head. But the difference sounds like is the weed head doesn't have withdrawal symptoms and the alcoholic does. The DTs, the shaking, the pain, sounds like heroin. That's what you go through heroin as well. So you made it through though, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
Good,
Yes, sir.
glad to hear that. And have you paid him his rent?
I have not, sir. At the time when I was here, I did not have a job. I came here with money saved. But after the accident, essentially, I gave him all the money that I had in order to pay for his deductible so he could get a car and so on and so forth. So after that, I pretty much ran out of my savings. Was looking to get a job, try to get a job, unable to get a job. Okay. You know, I was also obviously, as you stated, I was
all right. At least you're honest about that. Now let's talk about the car rental fees.
Well, my car was in the shop from the accident. It took them a long time to fix because there was a lot of damage. It had been run into a house.
You ran into a house?
Yeah. I blacked out and woke up in their driveway.
Could have killed someone. Was anyone in the house?
I was lucky. Fortunately not. It was right before Thanksgiving, and I went between 2 large trees. Luckily, I hit a hail bay that had been put out for Halloween decorations, and I guess that's what slowed me down. I don't really remember anything. I woke up an hour later in the driveway of the house, and I was so discombobulated, I actually thought I was home. I went in to put my key in the door and didn't even realize it. So,
what city you live in?
It's in Ohio. It's near Dayton.
Not Cleveland.
No, sir.
Or Cincinnati. All right.
No, sir.
Just don't go up to folks' door in Cleveland and try to
Yeah.
get the wrong door. You
Well, at the time, I thought I was home.
You'll have a big
yeah.
problem. All right. Well, don't get drunk in Cleveland if that's what you do when you get drunk.
Well, I wasn't drinking that day, sir. I hadn't been drinking that day. Yeah. That was it. Yeah, I was completely
what caused
sober.
you to black out?
I don't know. I don't know if it was from my withdrawal symptoms or the DTs. The doctors don't have an explanation either. But I wasn't drinking. I came back. In fact, that was the first thing he suspected, was that I had been drinking all of it. You know,
that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, no. I had not drank. If I was just going to, get some fast
back
food.
up now. Did you ever do that when you were drinking?
When I was drinking, not that I know of, no, sir.
But when you stopped drinking, that's what happened.
Yes, sir.
Give him a drink. Just kidding. But it sounds like you and others in society were a lot safer. I'm just kidding. I'm just totally kidding.
I've never been in an accident when I was drinking. So I said I was never in an accident when I was drinking.
Yeah, well,
I haven't been in an accident since I was young.
That's odd.
Defendant Nick Dawson is being sued by his former roommate, who claims after Nick moved in with him, he was suffering from alcohol withdrawal so severely that he blacked out and crashed his car into someone's home.
Why don't you think you should pay him for the car rental fees?
I just didn't know it was going to be that long. I mean,
how many days?
It was over
That
a month.
is a lot.
It was over a month.
Yeah, it was
from the 22nd of November to.
What type of damage?
The wheel was pushed in about 6 inches, so the entire wheel assembly, quarter
You have the
panel,
invoice or
headlights.
receipt?
I do.
All right. Your counterclaim for $200 for an illegal eviction. How so?
I was only given 2 weeks. You know, I mean, at that point, I know he had been fed up because it'd been 2 months since I was able to give him any money. Basically just, said, look, you got two weeks. You either have rent. He just said, he said he got 2 weeks on the dot. He got till this date. And if I don't have the money, then, I can't stay.
That's not true. That's not how that happened.
Well, sounds like he gave you legal notice. In most states, it only requires 10 days legal notice.
Okay.
And if you don't leave, then they can take you to court to have you evicted.
Okay.
If you indicate that you're not going to leave voluntarily. And if you leave on your own,
Right.
then no one has illegally evicted you.
I left on my own. So.
Right, and he gave you 14-day notice saying, I'm going to want you to leave.
Right.
Here's a 2-week notice letting you know that. You said, okay, I'll leave. Wasn't illegal. All right, you all seem like decent guys. You're not friends anymore?
We haven't talked much since.
Yeah, all right, well, resume your friendship. I'm going to grant you your judgment, so this will be out of the way. $1,874 is your judgment. Your claim dismissed. It wasn't an illegal eviction.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nick, sir.
Glad it's all over with, buddy.
I'm glad as well. I don't know. Maybe call him. Go out to dinner.
Sky's the limit. We can always have fun. There's plenty of fun to be had.
Definitely Coca-Cola instead of a beer.